Hello, welcome back to LEGO City Undercover. This is Bio Enchanted, and today we have quite a lot to do, as you may have noticed from the video length. So let's get started, shall we? We have a few things to do today. We have not only got some major plot stuff going on, we also have quite a lot of collectibles going to get on the way. We only have to go to a few small areas to get to where we need to get first of all. Something I want to mention though is this first part of the video was a bit of a pain to edit, but I think I've worked out a good way to go around it, because the photo thing that we're about to start using is only ever used this once in the actual story. You never have to ever touch it ever again. Which is good, because it's annoying, because it only actually does anything on the lower screen that you can't see. So again, I've had to work out ways around that. This is perhaps my least favourite part of the game because of that section, because it's just kind of tedious. But you'll see that in a few minutes when we actually... Here we are, we've actually arrived now, so... I mean, overall I like this part for plot reasons, but gameplay, it suffers. So here we have the surveillance camera properly unlocked.
I'd better find out what deals are going down today. If I stake out the noodle bar opposite Chan's scrapyard, I might get lucky and overhear their plans during lunch.
The camera is pretty much just something used for social media things, like sharing screenshots and things like that. That's literally its only use outside this one mission. So I've basically never used it outside of it. But yeah, here we have a fan. So we can't get past that area, so we'll need to head in here first so we can turn it off. I like the little animation and switching what colour they have currently loaded. That's a pretty good little animation.
Yes, looks like my hunch was right.
There we go. Yeah, I've got to switch to cop first. This I forgot to get the optional ones, but they're not particularly important.
Okay, gang, it's that time of the week again. We gotta pay up all these guys we've been having steal cars for us, so listen up. Hey, you're meeting Ray on the balcony of the pharmacy. Lee, Bobby's waiting for you in the alley next to Chan's. And Fang, you're gonna take delivery of a rare car from Blake at the limo place. If you understand your jobs, then remain perfectly silent. Excellent. Off you go. You know, we'd make a lot more profit if we just stole cars ourselves.
Proof of 3 crimes in 3 different locations. How on earth am I gonna get photographic evidence against all of them? Wait, what if I wasn't on Earth? If I get on top of the pagoda in the park, I could see all of those meeting points.
Wow, Chase isn't a complete idiot. He came up with a tactic. Well done, Chase. I mean, he also isn't smart enough not to use his real name. But there we go. So on the way, of course, we have a large pile of boulders to take care of. It's fairly well hidden there, because if you were using those little P1 things, like an impatient person would be, you wouldn't see them really. It'd just go right behind you in both directions. So that's pretty well hidden, that one. Unless, of course, you're coming from literally any other angle, in which case it's very easy to find them. So here we are. I had to edit interestingly here, because these would only have appeared on the lower screen.
Nice. I really got his bad side. Now we can trace that boat theft back to you, Ping. Next up,
and I cut a lot out here as well, because each photo takes a while to do, because you have to zoom in all over the place and get the right framing, and then zoom all the way into it, so it's a big pain.
I just need a shot of Fang,
but I think I did pretty well with it.
Car, and I'm done.
Yeah, I think I did pretty well with the editing here. Of course, otherwise you'd just be seeing the blue screen for like 5 minutes at a time. No one wants that.
Muzzle. That's Feng, but the car's obscured. I need to get a closer shot.
It's interesting that it just teleports you down there. But yeah, this is the best way I could think of to get around the whole unable to show you the photos thing.
Hey, you! Stop that!
Unfortunately though, Chase isn't very subtle, so he immediately gets caught. Quite like the chest bounce. Chase doesn't have nearly enough muscle mass for it to really work, but yeah. There's all the evidence we need.
McCain?
Chief?
I'm looking at the pictures you just uploaded. I don't think anyone's gonna pay you to photograph their wedding, but they'll just about do as evidence.
That was almost a compliment.
Anyway, I've got undercover officers arresting the other gang members you photographed. So if Chan calls you, you know nothing. I don't want anything spooking him until we can get one of his gang members to testify against him.
Yes, Chief.
This area that I'm about to cut out is a large tutorial on using the camera for the social media stuff. All you'd see are the blue screen and menus, so I cut right past all of that. But that's where I got the source for the photos from, though, because they actually appear on the big screen during that tutorial.
Driver!
I know nothing.
Don't worry, most of my staff are morons.
But not you! I like you a lot!
Wait, I did that wrong.
Can I help you, sir?
Yes, I have a job for you. Get to the Crescent Park Wharf.
No!
Light as ever.
So here we have more missions for Chan. Pretty good timing that it was before he noticed any kind of correlation between what just happened, but there we go. We're not that far from the park. But yeah, that's the most annoying part of the game pretty much past now. I'm taking a different route here just to show off this little tunnel. It's kind of nice little tunnel. There's not really a lot we can do down here though, because we need more stuff to be able to really do anything down here anyway. So I'm ignoring most of the stuff that's in here for now. Unfortunately, I completely forgot that this tunnel bypasses the actual park. So now we have to go. Luckily though, it did give us the opportunity to get this, so that was pretty decent flow by accident there. Making good headway on this guy's boots now. And it kind of makes sense to get the bus driver now, I guess, considering that's basically what we are. So let's just take a bit of a shortcut into the park. Well, screw up a shortcut into the park anyway. But there's stuff to do on the way there that I'm glad I'm approaching from this angle to do, because this angle reminded me it existed. So while we're here, let's take care of a few of these. I like that a lot of these beaches exist. They're only really there for a couple of collectibles, but they're nice to have a bit of visual variety in each area. So it's not just green for the park, we have a little bit of sand as well, that kind of stuff. It keeps things interesting to explore, to find these little areas like this. So there's building the usual sandcastles, because Chase literally has to do everything, including playing in this world. But before we pick up whatever that character token is, let's take care of one more thing, because I'm sure you noticed there's a large pile of boulders over there, which always alludes to one thing. The pity boulders. Now it picks up the Musketeer. So let's actually progress with the plot now that we can see it just glistening over there over that boat. And multitask as well, while we're listening to Chamble do some fishing too.
Yet?
Yeah.
This job was meant to be for Fang, but I can't find him, or Lee, or Fu, or Ping.
Maybe they're all getting coffee?
Are you saying my coffee is bad? No! Something's up, and the only men I have left are you. And this bunch of dregs! So, with all my most trusted employees missing, you're going to have to do the job for me.
What is it?
I'll give you the details later. No one can know about this. Just take my boat from the wharf and get to Apollo Island. Now!
There's going to be a cut here because I screwed up here. I accidentally got out of the boat, and when you get out the boat, when you're swimming in very deep water, you just get eaten by a shark immediately. There's nothing you can really do about it. I was trying to do a thing, I couldn't get back in the boat in time, and I wound up wasting a few minutes having to reload the entire area to respawn the stupid boat, but there we are. First though, we're going to be heading to the right, because there's actually something I want to take care of while I have access to this boat, because boats are really hard to get a hold of in this game. Unlike the other areas, unlike the other types of vehicles, there are no little spawning points for them that are particularly consistent that I know about. There's no boat spawn points that you can get access to the console and just spawn a boat from. You kind of just need to see them randomly hanging out at docks, which is kind of annoying. So I decided to take care of this part now, because otherwise this is the most annoying place to clear out, underneath Blackwell Bridge. Because it's just these 8 struts that are just surrounded by deep water, so you can swim from strut to strut along one end, but then you pretty much have to reload the entire bridge and drop down the other side of them. Because if you just try and swim to the other set of struts after this one, you'll just get eaten by the shark, because as you may have noticed from the line in the water that marks where the deep and shallow is, right there, that green line that we're crossing here and here, that marks the difference between shallow and deep water, so between safe and sharky water. So we're largely clearing this area out right now, while we can. There's only one thing we can't get from here, but we'll be taking care of that in due time. This is just me making sure I've got all the things I have, because some of these things just don't have anything on them. Some of them have mega bricks, and some of them have as you may have noticed, character tokens and other kinds of collectibles too. So we're just taking care of this entire set. And then we'll actually go to Apollo Island and see what he wants from there. Just a few blue studs. Nothing of interest there, but there was one we didn't get a good look at, so let's just back up a little bit. I quite like the look of Chan's boat. It's a nice boat, although it's a little bit on the slow side. Yep, red brick. That one's going to be very useful for some of the worst vehicles in the chase missions later on, because when we have that switched on, every vehicle can get the nitrous boost going, which is very nice. But now we can actually follow the green studs to get back on track, so let's do that. I quite like, driving the boats is a little bit slow, but it's fairly relaxing. It's a good break from some of the more tedious platforming things, and some of the boats are actually fairly nippy. This isn't one of them, because it's like a proper, one of the bigger boats, but the smaller boats can be quite quick. Sometimes in a way that's kind of hard to control. But as you can see from some of these boats around, this is actually one of the larger ones, so of course it's a little bit more cumbersome. Keeping this leg of the journey because of this little thing here. I just want to show off this ramp, because these are kind of neat. I like those ramps, they're pretty fun. But now we'll just be going around the coast to get around the park, and we don't need to see all of that. But I'm cutting to here because here we have some unique visuals. We have the second major tunnel through the island. Of course there were 3. And this is the water-based one. There's some stuff to do in here, but we can't do all of it, and it's kind of tedious to do some of it and come back to do the rest. So we're just going to come back when we can do all of it. For now, it's just a nice little, cut through the sewers of Lego City. It's a little bit dull, but it's something I just wanted to make sure you go look at before I started cutting through and getting collectibles at the end game. Because again, it's a unique route that we're taking through the island, so it's a good, again, way of showing connectivity. We've gone straight from Chinatown in the west to Fresco in the east. So it was an interesting kind of transition. You go from one extreme cultural import to the other.
Ellie, I'm on another
So
job
to
for
cut
Chan,
some
and
of
I
that
get
out.
the feeling it won't be just a sports car this time. I'm headed to Apollo Island.
What on earth could Rex want Chan to get from there?
No idea. But this feels like a clue to me, Ellie. A big, fat clue. I'll update you once I know more.
So here we are, Apollo Island. It's quite large and quite interesting.
Have you got to Apollo Island, driver?
Yes, sir.
Good. I want you to steal a moon buggy.
What?
Well, what did you think I sent you to Apollo Island for? Ice cream?
Would have been nice.
Just get into the Space Center and steal a moon buggy!
I should find a disguise so I can get into the Space Center.
I'm going to report all of Mikey's posts, Mikey Spoiler's posts, and get him banned from my thread, because he should have read the OP. I did specifically say no spoilers, cheeky bastard. I think he's one of my favourite little jokes in this game, though. One of them, in the top 10, because he's a funny idea to have a guy who's as good at who outright says, by the way, here's an upcoming level. That's a rather cute thing. That guy's got the best name. I like Brantford Covery. You never really see him or anything like that. He's not really a character. He's just a model, but he's just got a great name. It's a very, very, very posh name. Like the Benedict Cumberbatch of the Lego world. This thing, as you can see, is incredibly bouncy. Very bouncy. That can be a problem because it can very easily tip. That was me forgetting something. Consider it a preview for that token.
Maybe I'll even find a spacesuit. That'd be so cool.
So here we are, the Apollo Island Space Center. As you can see, Apollo Island is a large amount of empty space with a few large buildings. Well, one large building and a few smaller ones on the outskirts. Because as you'd expect from a space center, it needs a lot of empty space to actually function properly, because if it gets too built up, well, where would the rocket go? You just roast the entire thing. So of course it's a big, very spacious area. I quite like the design of it, like seeing the spaceport right in the middle of it, and then the building behind it, that kind of stuff. It's a neat layout. And there's our next disguise. Chase predicted things on dead on. So let's head around the side and find a way up this space center so we can get inside. This is a mildly annoying mechanic. It's just Simon Says, but really dull. Each one, of course, has one combination. They're all different combinations in each of them, so it's kind of something there, but it's just, it's busy work, this particular kind of thing. It's just something that only Spacesuit can do. I like the fact that it plays Daisy Daisy. It's a cute reference to 2001, but other than that, there's just not a lot to it. There we go, now we have our way up, so let's climb this building. After screwing up a little bit first. There we are. So here we're actually going to find something fairly new. This little pad over here. You may guess what it's used for the spacesuit, but let's see how it's actually used once we assemble it. Teleport. Neat. So let's go to Astronaut, the aforementioned level at the Space Center.
All engineering staff, please report to the shuttle bay.
Whoa! Sheesh! That is one small step, Foreman.
Perfect. While they're all busy working on the shuttle, I can just get to the moon buggy, which is somewhere around there. In the middle of the shuttle.
Quite like that map. Let's take care of these guards. Let's see what we need to do here then to get that
Ellie?
moon buggy.
Chen wants me to take a moon buggy.
Wow.
Yeah, but I can't get to it because it's in the shuttle surrounded by mechanics, and I'm in the control room.
Maybe you can do something to get their attention.
That's the last thing I want, isn't it?
No, because then they'll have to come to the control room, meaning you can sneak into the hangar.
Okay. I'll just try pressing some buttons then. What's the worst that can happen? So I guess flying a rocket is basically the same as being in a rodeo.
Yep, time for some astronaut training. This is quite cute that they have this in here. Especially considering it's not really the visitors area. It's kind of weird to have a children's ride here, but there you go. But that's kind of cute, so I quite like that. Yeah, these boxes are kind of overused. There's a lot of them, and it's a very long mechanic to do. But there we go. I mean, they could easily just be replaced by the astronaut-themed boxes and just make it so that only these spacesuits like got the right stuff to break it or something like that. Like maybe make it only able to be broken by a laser or something. But as it is, they just kind of feel like they're there to just pad time, because it's such a not really much of anything mechanic. Yeah, now we have to repair that. That was annoying. We also find the first of those small mini collectibles in this area, repairing these paintings. So let's get that done. Not photos, really. Rebuilding the Hall of Fame as we do so. I quite like that a lot of these areas have like interesting reasons for these kind of collectibles to be here. Like they're completing some kind of image in some way,
Prepping space rocket for engine test.
as opposed to just being there to be broken.
Confirming safety measures.
It gives it a little more something.
Yes. Handbrake is applied.
I quite like the Rocket Man like talking about all the different testing things. So there's quite a few cute little jokes in there that I quite like. So there we go. Now we finally have green, so we can go up to the left side of this room. This room's kind of laid out in a way it's a little bit of a pain, but it's an interesting idea where it's like go up the sides first, one by one, and then go up the middle. It's an interesting kind of variation on just going left, well, just going right, rather. And there's our next photo done.
Looks like this
So there
trap's
we
got a
go.
hole in it.
Time for a little more vandalism at this quest. This level's reminds me a lot of the dojo because it's a similar thing where it's got like 2 rooms to it, but this level's rooms are much more interesting than the
Glad my watch
dojo
doesn't
was.
take a battery this size.
So I don't mind it as much here. The dojo's kind of dull, but this area's got a lot more character to it, so I quite like that. Let's finally get up to this elevator. So once we've taken care of these security guards, we have a small puzzle to solve. It's cute that he's breaking things for me. It's like he's trying to help. That's those taken care of, so let's explore. See what we can find.
Flight path calculated as upwards.
I think it's probably
Yeah,
one of my
I'll find some
personal
way of getting
favourite
all this
ones.
work
There's a
done
few
by
others that are funnier, but that one's just kind of cute.
I guess destroying those computers wasn't the answer.
Yeah, the game gives you the idea of, oh, just break everything and you'll find what you need, but in this case it's actually not the case. It's a cute little way of messing with your expectations a little bit and having the character point it out as well. Where it's like normally in these games it's just, oh, break everything till you solve the puzzle, and he explicitly says, yeah, breaking that didn't do anything, right? You just broke it for the sake of breaking it, didn't you? Because you only need to pry open that, pull this out. We just need to find these little diodes or whatever they are to complete this little console to activate whatever this is going to do. But clearing out the computers has done something, which we'll see about now.
Checking shuttle air freshener is still.
Yeah, I often get a little confused between civilian outfits and the cop outfits.
We are pine fresh. I repeat, pine fresh.
It makes it a little easier to notice that path when all the computers aren't around them, getting kind of in the way. But you can easily do the path without breaking the computers. So that's just like something you can do if you feel like being a bad person. But there we go, accidentally tossing objects instead of putting it into the thing, which is just a time-honored Lego game tradition. That's something that happens, at least to me, in like every game at some point. Now, also, as you can see, I have both the multipliers on, because why wouldn't I? And so filling our thing in for this level was super easy. This is something I'll keep on pretty much the entirety of the game, the ×8 multiplier. Because filling that meter in really quickly is a very nice thing to be able to do.
SRB nozzle flex barrier. And I'll need another engineer to tell me what the heck an SRB nozzle flex bearing actually is. Is it the cup holder?
Yep, that might get their attention. I hope that vent up there leads to the hangar.
So, if you remember what Mikey Spoiler said about a planet in the Space Center, give him a secret item. Yeah, that wasn't a joke, it was a genuine spoiler. Which I quite like, that's a pretty funny thing.
Ooh, I wonder if my driving license covers space rockets.
It's also hard enough to notice that it seems kind of necessary for Mikey to have told you that was there, otherwise you may not have even seen the planet laying on the floor like that. So that's also a little bit of kindness the game gives the player. This has been waiting for a conversation to start with Ellie, which just doesn't seem to want to happen because it's taking so long to load it. Never had this problem before where it takes a million years to load conversations, but there we go, like the window's there, but no one's in it. On my pad at the moment. I mean, it's happened a couple of times, but never for this long as well. She normally said something by now.
Ellie, how do I get the moon buggy out of the shop?
Finally.
There should be a button you can press to open its delivery bay.
And that'd need power to work, right?
Yeah? Why?
I think I broke the power supply back there. And now the control room is full of people.
Right. Hang on. It's okay. There should be some high-powered lasers in the hangar. You can use them to power up the shuttle. Wow. There is literally nothing you can't find with these online encyclopedias.
Okay, anything else I should know?
The annual rainfall in Lego City?
Thanks, Ellie.
I think you should just use game facts for that. But yeah, this area is actually a little bit annoying because I have had a bug here that happened that's killed the entire one of the level. Essentially, when you're breaking those boxes to activate objects, if you don't break every single side of those boxes individually, it can actually break the game a little bit. I'll elaborate on that when we get to the part where it breaks it, but it was so annoying when it happened to me.
Connected.
There's the first laser connected, so laser 2 is where the problem came in. See, those boxes just explode and that's fine, they just get out the way. So let's move this in the way, once we've changed its colour, and get it in the right position. it's this box that gives you trouble. But we won't be breaking that quite yet, because I'm still just getting the laser around. But yeah, in this box is a colour swapper. I have had it happen before that the topmost part of the box doesn't actually break, or like it breaks last and I don't finish it off. And when I don't finish it off, that symbol that just appeared there doesn't actually appear. So I can't change it back to silver from red. Which means I can't colour that object silver, which means I can't finish the puzzle because it won't let me swap the colour back. That was an enormous pain when it happened to me. But at least now I know what's caused it, so I know how to avoid it happening. Just make sure you individually break every single aspect of those boxes. But here we have our moon buggy finally. So let's find a way to release it from this little arm. Look, we've attracted some attention, so now we know how to get up there. Once we've taken care of these security officers. This is what happens when you privatize security, mate. They hire the cheapest guys. And they're just garbage. Can't even stand up to basic martial arts. You can kind of see how we're meant to solve that puzzle, but by the time I actually get to solving those puzzles, I have like I have an ability that actually bypasses the entire thing, which is kind of hilarious. I'm gonna try and remember to solve it the normal way when I have what I need to do so. I just find it kind of annoying that amusing that you can just completely skip it if you have the right stuff. So, a keycard, we haven't seen those for a while, have we? So now let's release the moon buggy. This level of all I quite like, because while it's still just two large rooms, it's two fairly interesting rooms that each have quite a bit to maneuver around in them. They each feel like they have a lot you can do, which makes them feel fairly big. I mean, there's a lot we couldn't do in the second room of the thing that will be the temple that we'll be seeing later, but as you're first playing through it, it just feels kind of dull because there isn't that much you can explore, so it just feels like there's nothing to it, which is unfair, but yeah.
Hey, that's my car! It's not your car! You are so possessive!
Fine, it's our car, but it isn't his.
Come on! Chance men better be waiting for me at the dock!
I like that vista of Lego City, it looks really pretty there. With just that good shot of Blackwell Tower right in the middle of it. So as usual, we have our little totting up to do. It was like those little meters, they're fairly satisfying watching them fill up when they actually reach the top. When they don't reach the top, they just kind of feel like a tease. And it kind of feels kind of bad.
Driver, bad news. My men aren't waiting for you at the dock.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're running late. And by running late, I mean... Still sat here on their behinds! Oh, they've actually gone. Who am I going to shout at now?
They'll be here soon, right?
I guess so. Just don't let the moon buggy get damaged until they get there. Oh, I'm going out to the street so I can yell at some strangers. See you, driver.
Oh, even Chad doesn't know what's going on right now. He's just like, I guess so. They must have been on their way. I didn't even see them leave. But this car is kind of irritating if you don't know how to get it done properly, because this area is kind of large, and it can be very easy to accidentally end up getting cornered by a bunch of them. or to accidentally end up flipping the buggy because it's very, as you can see, very bouncy to actually drive. But here we have a little thing we can do to get a good head start, because they can't jump the way we can. They have to take the long ways because they're AI. So if you take this jump, they have to go all the way around to actually get to us, which helps a lot because this part of the game can be a little annoying to do. It also gives us a good chance to actually check out most of the island and see how it's all put together. I quite like all the marshland in the outskirts, that kind of thing, all these little like skippers and marsh boats and things like that. And that is something I didn't even realise happened. This car's so small, just driving through that little puddle actually damages it. So I had to be a lot more careful from then on, but at least we're pretty much done here now.
Attention, this is security. Everyone return to base.
So finally, Transmen are here, so let's actually take this buggy back to them now. This bouncy buggy. I quite like these little channels under where the actual practical parts of the missions go. They're pretty neat, like the ways of diverting the exhaust and everything like that. It's pretty good, a little bit of attention to detail. It's not just like a plain field. So here we are, finally. Let's take this shuttle back to the main island.
About time, guys.
Shuttle? You know what I mean, buggy.
We'll take it from here. Don't follow us.
So let's see what's happening next.
McCain, are you anywhere near downtown?
Sure, Chief. Why?
We got reports that a gang is trying to abduct Forrest Blackwell. They've got him on top of a building near the downtown Science Museum.
I'm on my way, Chief. Has backup been dispatched?
Yes, but by the time they get there, it'll be too late. So hurry up! I really don't want to get on the wrong side of Forrest Blackwell.
Okay, we have our next mission. But first of all, though, I wanted to do something I wanted to try and do, but unfortunately, because it counts as part of the mission, it wouldn't let me. So next time, we'll actually go and save Forrest Blackwell. But we're running out of time here. This video's long enough, so I'll see you then. Goodbye.